says, may you live in interesting times. I reckon the last 24 hours has been interesting for you. First of all, have you been approached by the South Sydney Rabbitohs to take over on an interim basis?
No, I haven't yet. So, but I know there's interest. So that's obviously the first thing I have to say. But there's been no official anything so far, and I feel a bit sorry. I think I misjudged. Feel a bit sorry about what's happening at the club at the moment. Obviously, we want to see a South Sydney Rabbitohs team, firing in our game, and feel a bit sorry for the coach at the moment. It's been a lot of this media speculation. It started obviously yesterday morning, but without any comment from me, because I've got nothing to really comment about, because there's been no official, conversation being held at all. All I know is that they're keen on it, and a lot of it's through the media, mate. So that's where I sit.
Yeah, which is really, if we talk about it from that terms, and it's got out from somewhere, right? But if we talk about it in that terms, what's the point of Jason Demetriou turning up on Saturday for the game?
Well, if it's true, I don't know if it's even true, is it? I can't speak factually on it,
right?
On it at all. We all know that Jason's under the pump because of the performance of the footy team at the moment. So again, I just feel for Jason. If this is all speculation, it's really cruel in my mind.
Yes.
If it is factual, let's just get on with it. Let's have those decisions. But if Jason's obviously going to be the person that's going to move on, well, let's be fair to him and tell him.
Okay, next question. If it is true, if you are approached, are you open to the opportunity of being an interim or a coach at South Sydney in some capacity?
Well, I love the idea of being an interim coach. However, I've got some big commitments in my life. I obviously do a lot of media with Fox and News Guys, and then I've got the Australian gig, and I've got my own business. So there's a lot of consideration that needs to take place. I'm pretty happy in life. Well, not pretty. I'm very happy in life. So living down here in Canberra. So it's only a short term, I know, and it is something that certainly interests me, and I am flattered that my name's been mentioned in it all. But again, there's no real foundation to it just yet.
Yeah. When you look back on your time as an NRL coach, and this is a couple of decades ago, so it's such a long time ago, what are your reflections on that? And do you think getting back into that day-to-day is something that you'd be, would work well for you now, Mal?
I reckon I can handle it a lot better because I'm a lot more experienced. But
yes,
in saying that as well, Jimmy, it's interim. So it's only for the remainder of the year if it does pan out that way, mate. So I took the Kangaroos on a tour for 8 weeks. The World Cup.
Yes.
So so I know I've got the necessary skill set to help the club out with some really good people there, obviously. So. Yeah, you give us some seriously consideration. I always thought in life and always know in life that you've given an opportunity, you've got to thrash it out, you've got to take it to the nth degree, and at the end of the day, you can always say no to it all. But it's something that you've got to explore, and that's who I am. It's a challenge. It would be a challenge. I love challenges. I love winning. I'm competitive. Like I said, I'm flattered by it all, and if it is authentic, I'll give it some really serious considerations. But on the flip side, I'm really happy in life, Jimmy. I've got all my work, my life balance, all sorted out. Really happy that I'm the national coach, which is something I cherish.
Yep.
And something that I want to continually doing. And if that is impeded, well, obviously, there'll be no chance of moving forward with any arrangement, because I want to coach Australia through to the next World Cup.
Yeah. We know you have a great relationship with some of those players in at South Sydney. One, in fact, has been dropped this week. The other one is out suspended. When you look at that team and you look at that squad and you see the way they've played, and it's not just this year, it's the back end of last year, what do you see, Mal?
I don't. Underperformance, that's what I see. And whether that's a direct result of, Jason's coaching prowess, or it's a combination of, the players not playing to their ability. I think it's everything. I just think culturally, we've got to look at everything. If someone goes in there, it's around just to find out the truth. I reckon there's a I reckon there's an element of truth in every opinion and in every rumour. There's an element of truth in it, mate. And I think, if you actually got to be inside, you got to be in the trenches, you got to be talking and walking, with the people inside that organisation to find out what the reality is. And we can always speculate, but there is certainly an underperformance, and that could be a result of many faceted things that need to be addressed, mate.
Yeah. Okay. How would you describe? I'm talking about the Latrell Mitchell, Cam Murray, Jack White, and Damien Cook, Campbell Graham. I mean, these are the guys you had along with you for 8 weeks on that World Cup trip. How would you describe your relationship with those guys?
I think I've got a good relationship.
Yeah.
Obviously, and that's at that elite level, of course. So with the national team, so it's certainly an easier gig than obviously clubland. So week to week, over a longer period of time, we'll pose some difficulties and some challenges, there's no doubt. But relationships, everything. Relationships with your players and with everybody else in the organisation is so critical. You've got to have a really strong rapport with them. You can have an honest rapport with them, because you need to have these really honest conversations through it all. And, and at the moment, I know they're having these honest conversations, but no one's by looking on the outside looking in. They're not responding the way they wanted to, because they're having these honest appraisals of how the team's going, how the club's going, how the individuals are going. So again, unless you're inside the organisation, it's hard to pinpoint. It wouldn't be one thing, mate. It'd be a number of things.
No. Speaking of relationships, what's your relationship like with Wayne Bennett, given the fact that his name was mentioned before yours as a candidate for next year and beyond?
Well, that doesn't concern me, So if Wayne gets it next year, or I think Michael Maguire's been intimated in the media as well. I mean, if one of those guys gets the gig next year, I mean, I'm happy for them, and if they make that decision sooner rather than later, I mean, I'm happy to work with them if I'm there, of course.
Yep.
If I'm there to work with them to help prepare the team and get the team in a really good space for them to take over, it makes their job a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yeah. Wayne Bennett spoke this morning at the Dolphins press conference. He was asked about that, and he said, the coach takes all responsibility, but the club takes none. That's the tragedy of all of this stuff. Which is interesting, because there's a coach feeling for a coach that he obviously has a very close relationship in, Jason Demetriou.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. And the one thing I think about our great game is that the coaches aren't protected well enough, to be honest with you, So there is it's so flighty, coach can, because based on results, and results are so visible every week, every weekend. They get judged on that. And unfortunately, if they had success, and there's a lot of other variables in the club that obviously are not happy with those sort of circumstances. So, the coach he's the scapegoat. And the coach has been the scapegoat for 115 years in any sport, really, if you think about it. I feel sorry for coaches because, they're the easy solution to try and fix probably a greater problem.
Yeah. Well, we've got the text line is absolutely going gangbusters right now, as you would imagine. 0457 736 736. The Reptile is a regular. He's a South Sydney Rabbitohs fan, and he just said, Mal, please, 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 please. So there is support for you there. Now
I appreciate all that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think one of the things about and you talked about you as an NRL coach back in the late 90s, and you as the man with the experience that you have now, and understanding people and the success that you've had with Queensland and with Australia. You're a completely different coach to what you were previously.
I walked into that pretty cold. I had no philosophy. I just had a good knowledge and understanding of the game, So there's a lot more to coaching and being at the elite level than that. It is around building that rapport, around strong relationships, having great conversations. Leadership is really important, element of coaching, relying and having trust in each other. There's a whole heap of things, a whole heap of characteristics that you embody over years through learned experiences.
Yeah.
But I want to emphasise again, Jimmy, if it is the case that the decision's made, I go coach South for an interim period. It's not long. I'm not long term, mate.
Yeah.
It's just hopefully a 6-month period. That's about it. So it's something that I would be excited by.
Yeah.
But I'm not a full-time coach, mate. I'm not a coach that's going to go 3 years or 4 years.
Yep.
I'll do that at rep level because I'm happy with that. But I'm not a coach that's married to the game that much that I need to have that every week.